Okay, good evening, everybody, to Avini Vibes. Tonight, we welcome you. It's August 24th, Thursday night, and we're real excited. And I want to say that Carol's probably excited too, because we are so thrilled that we have somebody very special is hopefully going to join us. She's been scheduled to be with us this evening, but for some reason, she's having some trouble getting on. So we may just have to chat amongst ourselves a little bit until we can till she can get clear on her computer and get to us. Chip just sent out another email to her. I did send it and spoke to her about 3 times today, and we were all set. So I apologize because we were excited to have Deirdre Thornton with us. So we'll just give it a minute or two, and feel free if anybody wants to jump in. And why don't you just maybe we could just go around quick and say where you're from. How's that? Let me start with you, Carol.
Okay. Bradenton, Florida.
We have to unmute
Oh,
everybody.
okay.
Just go ahead and unmute your phones a minute and just say where you're from.
Yep. I'm from Bradenton, Florida.
Alan?
Orange Park, Florida.
Jim Carroll.
I'm in North Jacksonville.
Oh, Lord, all these Floridians. Eddie Kowalski.
Come on, Ed.
Yeah, Jacksonville, sorry.
It's okay. I like Floridians. Raksha.
Miami.
Miami. All right. And Michael.
Lakeland, Florida.
And Melody, where are you
Take it over.
from? Another Florida. Melody, where are you from?
Oh, you.
Calling from Montana, Deirdre Thornton.
Oh, okay. So we got Deirdre. So Deirdre, everyone's just giving us a sense of where they're from. They're saying hello, and I'll introduce you in a moment. We're going to go to Novella. Where are you from, Novella?
I think you were at Melody.
Melody.
Melody,
I'm
where
in
are you
Florida.
from?
I was trying to mute myself. I'm a little slow sometimes.
Floridian.
And-
Floridian.
And I'm
Novella, come on.
I'm a transplanted Floridian. I'm in Church, Texas.
All right, we got a Texan in the house. Kyle?
Atlantic Beach, Florida.
Amen.
Chip? Come on, Chip. Where are you from? Don't say Florida.
Say Florida, Chip.
I'm living in a tree in Nebraska.
There you go. And Warren, not sure who that is, but welcome.
Nikita.
Oh, Nikita, how are you? Where are you
I'm
from?
doing great. I'm in Texas.
Okay, Texas. Gary, where are you from? Gary, you're muted. And Jillian, you're muted also. Where are you from?
Sunrise, Florida.
Okay, Sunrise, Florida. Debbie Cheatham, you're from Florida too, probably, right?
Clearwater.
Clearwater. Oh, Lord of mercy. All right. So anyway, I'm Christine Rolando. I'm from New York, but I love Florida. And my in-laws live in Florida, so maybe that counts. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Well, our guest is here. We can't see you, but we certainly know a lot about you because we've been chatting up, all excited to have you. Deirdre Thornton is with us tonight. She's the owner of Spruce Haven Wellness Center in Bozeman, Montana. And Deirdre basically is very well known for what she does in her field. She began as a colon hydrotherapist and continues to educate her clients. I love this because her clients have traveled the world and have visited many medical doctors and alternative doctors.
Hello.
But a lot of them, after hearing what works or doesn't work, she realized that cleansing the colon is important, and she has lots to share. So thank you for being with us, Deirdre. I don't want to take the floor any longer. Please feel free to jump in. We'd love to see your face if we could, but we only see a phone. But
I don't know why it's not showing up. I have no idea, but it's not. So, okay, so let's talk about the colon and about cleansing. I have been cleansing for 20 years. I have over 1,000 clients. I've seen people that are very sick, and when they cleanse, whether they're cleansing their colon, their liver, their kidneys, when they cleanse, all of a sudden the body starts to work better. Well, what works better? Well, your circulation works better, okay? Your elimination works better. Your thinking is clearer when you cleanse. And so cleansing is almost a fad right now. It's made my business very, very successful. But what is significant about it is that certain cleanses work better than others. And many times when you try cleanses, they're so brutal as far as how you feel on them that you think, I'll never do this again. I don't care what they're promising. I'm just not doing it. And so then you kind of lose them. And even though it might make them feel better, the process of getting stuff out of your body is so brutal, you just can't do it, especially the older you get. So one of the things I loved about this cleanse is that it was easy on the body. Now there's a little cleansing side effects, but not many. One of them is your pee smells bad. Another one, in the very beginning, you might get a slight headache, but you drink a glass of water and it's gone. And but the benefits are, well, just for somebody my age, are every joint feels better. I have an hour and a half more of energy a day. Now, what is that worth? I mean, you can totally pay for the products with just that alone. And so I have an hour and a half of strong energy. And to happen to someone at 75, I think is pretty significant. So, and my skin. So I've had skin cancer twice, and they've cut it out. And I'll get rough patches, and they watch them. And once a year, I'm checked over. And after a year on these products, I just don't have any more. I just had my physical with my doctor, and I said, "Oh, I'm so grateful to talk to you because I want you to really look at my blood work because I'm going to see if you see any changes." And he said, "Well, right away I noticed your cholesterol was always good. Now it's better." He said, "Your blood sugar was always good, but now it's better." Well, I'll take better when it comes to anything with my health. And so the next thing I'm going to talk to you about, I thought was so interesting. So I'm becoming aware that the bacteria that we pick up through food, the biggest influx of bacteria in our body is on our food. And of course, we all realize that because, there's always these recalls of lettuce and green leafy things, and there's always bacteria on it. Well, I thought, where is this bacteria coming from? Are they not providing bathrooms for people? Are they, having to just pee in the field? What is it? Well, what I found out was that it's the rats running through the fields, peeing on everything. Well, that alone, I quit eating anything raw. I mean, I was done. And so, but what I found out about that was that I put 5 drops of Cell Defender and I soak my vegetables in it. And then I pat it dry, and then I spray it down with silver, and then I eat it. That's the only way I can eat raw things.
So hold on, Deirdre, can you
go ahead?
Repeat that again? So you take your raw vegetables, your lettuce, whatever. Can you just repeat that again?
And then I put 5 drops of Cell Defender in water and just let them sit while I'm, preparing my supper. And then I take them out and I dry them off, okay? And I get them dry. As soon as I have them dried, then I just spray them, mist them with silver, and then I feel like I can eat them.
Interesting.
I have very, very sophisticated health professionals tell some of my clients, just don't eat anything raw anymore. It's just not safe. So, well, I really like the salad. And so I figured out a way to eat it. Now, am I getting every parasite egg? Am I getting every piece of bacteria? Probably not. But I'm taking it internally too. So it doesn't get very far. It doesn't develop very far in my body because I'm taking quite a lot of silver and taking quite a lot of Cell Defender. And, people say, how long are you going to take this much? And I said, well, till my pee smells normal because it smells like chemicals. Well, at 75, you can imagine what I've been exposed to. And so what you have to realize is that we're really toxic. Our world is toxic. I bought a doll for my granddaughter and it was covered with cellophane at Walmart, and I took the cellophane off and it burnt my face. And I thought, what am I doing? I need to really understand what's in this environment. And so we go on a deep cleanse at first. I tell people, deep cleanse for 3 months, a minimum of 3 months. And then after that, you can go on less for a while. But then once or twice a year, you need to deep cleanse again because we're exposed. What happens when we gas our car up, and how many times do we do it? We just stand there and breathe it. Well, what do we smell? It's chemicals. And where do they go when we breathe them in? Your liver has to process this. So we're so very toxic. There's hardly a food we can eat. There's hardly air that we can breathe that isn't toxic, you know, and so we have to clean our bodies out. When we clean and we get in the rhythm of cleaning out our bodies with this product line, this is the strongest cleanse I've ever used in 20 years, the most sophisticated cleanse, the cleanse with the most scientific information regarding it, and the most reasonably priced cleanse that I've dealt with in my life. So I feel like I'm doing people such a favor, because when these bacteria get in our body, what happens then is that my doctor, I told him, I said, you know, I woke up in the night and my inside voice said, hey, well, check out how many of these bad diseases that cause tumors and you need to use radiation and chemo to get rid of them, how many of them are caused from bacteria and how many are caused from virals? Well, I knew some were caused from virals. It's kind of common knowledge, but I didn't ever think about them being caused from bacteria. So when I looked it up, what they said was 17% are caused from bacteria. So when I was at my doctor's office, I said to him, I told him this story, and he said, well, I think that they'll find when all the research comes in that bacteria are way more than 17%. When you knew what they do to ravage the cells in the body, you would understand that. He said, you know, what we do as doctors really is we just look in you for things that can kill you. That's what we do as doctors. And bacteria is right up there. So after I understood that, I started to give my clients more silver. And a third of a bottle, wait a day, a third of a bottle, wait a day, a third of a bottle. And when I did that, I started to see this white mucus come out of people. And I thought, what is that? And I was taking pictures of it and kind of looking at it. One day, because you can enlarge things on your phone, I enlarged it. Well, in this so-called white mucus, it was just full of parasites. And I thought, what is this? Why isn't the cell defender getting this? Well, cell defender travels through your vascular system, and the silver can penetrate all your tissues. So when I gave people more silver, I saw all this weird bacteria. When I first got in the business, my youngest daughter sprayed silver, 5 sprays in her mouth 3 times a day for 2 days. At the end of 2 days, she was vacuuming and she thought, oh, I have diarrhea, and she ran in the bathroom. Well, she dumped a load and stood up like any good educated daughter of a colon hydrotherapist would do, and she looked in the toilet and it was full of parasites. And so what I've come to understand is that, you know, silver attacks certain pathogens. You know, cell defender cleans the body out and causes you to be slightly alkaline. Well, from what I can see, these pathogens do not like you to be slightly alkaline. You're not overly alkaline, but you're slightly alkaline. And they don't like it. And when they don't like it, they either try to come out or they die on the spot. So there's microscopic pathogens and parasites. I mean, what is the definition of a parasite? Something that lives and feeds off your body. Some of them can become so big. I have a viewing tube on my clawing machine. They can become so big that, you know, they could take out your wife, tell you what to eat. You know, they live in your body. They produce excrement that's in your body. They create an environment that's friendly to them. And many times that environment includes, you know, funguses and candida. Right. So the other thing that happened when I got into this was I've seen people on candida diets and cleanses that have been on them for like 5 years. They're convinced this is one of their major health problems, and have been told by many health professionals that that's true. Well, when I got into this, even those people that had been on these restricted diets for years, all of a sudden, in the viewing tube of the clawing machine, I would just see tons of it, just wads of it. And I thought to myself, this is a bigger problem in health than anybody is talking about. Yeah. So, I mean, when do funguses occur is when, you know, something's in a death spiral, funguses just move in. So anyway, it's wonderful for that, because one of the things funguses do is just play horrible havoc on your skin. I don't know why. I'm wondering if it's trying to be eliminated through the skin. I'm not exactly sure. So anyway, so I put people on these cleanses. When they come in and they tell me their health problems and they go over it, all the symptoms, everything that's happening, I say, well, frankly, I really don't know about this health condition you have. I'm not a doctor, but I do know what cleanses do to get rid of different health conditions. And it really is common knowledge right now that the gut is connected to the brain, and the gut is connected to every major system in the body. So if your gut is not digesting properly, if your gut is not breaking the food down properly so it can move through your colon efficiently, if your gut is not healthy enough and strong enough to absorb the nutrients that's trying to be absorbed by it, or if it's so coated with candida or plaque that it simply can't absorb. I don't know if we actually need more vitamins. It's just my personal opinion. It's not science. I think we need to cleanse so that the good, healthy tissue in the body can absorb what's there. You can take as many vitamins as you want, because I see them go by in the colonic tube many times. People take all these expensive vitamins. I could stop the machine. I could take them out and wash them off, and they could try to take them again because they're not broken down at all. So I think that, of course, the best way to get nutrition is through food, but you can't get it if you don't have the power and the energy to break it down, and you do not have the right amount of probiotics, 5 to 15 pounds in your body, to help process it. If you don't have this, if you don't have the right enzymes, and the enzymes are not present there for digestion, if the enzymes are constantly trying to clean up debris in the body that is toxic to us. So when that happens also, you're born with 4 to 5,000 enzymes, and when you die, you have none. I just described death. So why would your enzyme bank get depleted? Like anything, it gets worn out. Why does your immune system quit working? Your immune system, we know how to kill the worst diseases out there. Our body knows how to do that. So what happens when it doesn't do it anymore? It's because it's completely exhausted from cleaning up debris. Think about your car. You never cleaned your car. You never changed the oil. Okay. You never balanced the tires. I mean, it would wear out very, very quickly. And our bodies are the same way. If we don't find processes to clean it out. Now, if we lived in a perfect world, would we need to do this? Well, I think if we lived in a perfect world and we had 5 to 15 pounds worth of probiotics, we probably wouldn't. I don't even think you'd have plaque. But we don't live in that perfect world. We live in a really, really toxic world. And I get headaches when I try to go. I went to pick out a new mattress, and it was in a furniture store. Within 20 minutes, I had a headache. Now, I don't get headaches. I'm not a person that gets headaches. So why did I have a headache? Because all this furniture was outgassing chemicals. So we have to do something about it. And what we found is there's a lot of different zeolites out there, and Anne-Marie Gittleman interviewed our scientist about our zeolite and why it's better than others. I would not take any other zeolite except for his. And I've seen it be so absolutely effective to people that are so toxic. They've had a job that they've had to support their family with, and they're completely toxic. So how much should you take? I mean, if you're really toxic and you're sick and have an immune system disorder, you figure out how to work up to 10 drops an hour every waking hour. If you're a healthy person and just want to stay healthy, you do 5 to 10 drops twice a day. You do 2 Zoomunity, keep your immune system strong. And then I say with the silver, I am so convinced of the silver that you need to take a swath through your body, a minimum of once every 3 months, just to kill any acquired bacteria that aren't supposed to be there before they can do harm. So I take more than that. I take my grandkids to the park. They know me. They get out of the car. They hold up their hands. I spray them with silver. They play on all the equipment. They come back to the car. I say, hold up your hands. I spray all their hands with silver because I know what they can pick up. I think the older I get, the more aware I am of how developed these bacteria and these virals are and these parasites, that I just feel like if you're going to be a good parent, you're going to do something to help your kids deal with this so that they don't have to have kids go to school. And what happens right away when they go to school? They get one sickness after another. Now, why is that? It's because they are in with all these children. Half of them are taken care of well. The other half are just struggling to make it. And they have pets and they have parasites. And, children don't wash their hands. If you've ever worked in a school and watched stood in the bathroom, children don't wash their hands. They're too busy to wash their hands. And so if you can just, and once you spray it on, it stays active on their hands all day long. So, my granddaughter's never had a diaper rash, just one mist with silver. Takes care of anything that would cause a diaper rash. She's 10 months old. She's just never had one. And she is so aware of how good it is for her. I even am carrying her and take her by the bottle. She just opens her mouth and reaches for them because she knows that they make her feel better. In teething, the silver, a couple sprays in the mouth and that inflammation is just gone. So I was spraying a little bump on the side of my nose because I keep track of anything on my skin because of what I had. I sprayed it 2 days in a row, and I took my glasses off one morning and I was getting ready to spray it again. I looked at my eyes and I went, oh my goodness, that eye I've been spraying looks so much better than the other. Looks like I've had a facelift. I'll be doing my whole face. So now I spray my face before I
like
go to
that.
bed.
Look at everybody, all the women are giggling. Everybody's smiling. I don't know if you can see them, but we love your encouragement and what you're sharing. So it's amazing that with your grandchildren and that you're just passing that baton on. But go back to the skin. So you've been spraying.
Okay. Yes. And anything on the skin. I mean, if you have some little thing that doesn't seem to heal right, just spray it once with silver, look at it the next day and it's almost healed. It's like, how did that happen? Well, if you can do that on the outside of your skin, what can it do on the inside of your skin? What can it do to help your eyes? I sprayed on my teeth because when you get over 60, you have all this dental work. You have this dental work that is just every single bit of it is leaking and full of bacteria. And they're dripping into your gut. So what do we do about that? Do we go to a dentist and throw 60,000, 100,000 at them and say, redo all my teeth? And I actually had started to remove one root canal at a time. And then I was putting in an implant. They cost $5,000. So it would take me a year to pay for it. But it would also take my body a year to get over disturbing it. I just didn't feel good. I didn't feel good in my chest for a year. So I heard Neil say once that instead of redoing all that, why don't we just take Cell Defender and put drops on our teeth and spray them also with silver? Well, this one root canal that I was going to have removed, and underneath my tongue on that side, right by that tooth, the veins and underneath my tongue were bigger than on the other side. So I started to do what he said, and the vein went to normal. It's not 100% normal, but it's 90% normal. And the tooth itself, I could move it a little bit. It wasn't seated in the socket real good. Now, I had that x-ray twice, and both dentists told me it was fine. But if it's not seated really strong, it means only one thing. There's an infection in there. And just because they don't see it on the x-ray doesn't mean it's not there. Because I had one taken out, and the dentist said, there's nothing wrong with that tooth. I said, well, I don't care. I want it out. Are you willing to take it out? He said, yes. After he took it out, he said, you were right about that tooth. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I took it out, and then I looked at the x-ray closer, and you'd had a raging infection in that area of your mouth. And your body had backed it down, but it was still there because when I took out the tooth, it just stunk. Well, what does that mean? It means infection. So I've been putting all this on my teeth every night and every morning. I still brush my teeth, but my whole health of my mouth is better. So maybe I don't have to do the $60,000 investment. Maybe I don't have to do the $100,000. Maybe I can die with the teeth that are in my head. So I'm 75. So, I mean, chances are, by world statistics, I won't live much longer than 85, although I don't have anything wrong with me. So I'll probably live to be 95, maybe older. With these products, I think it's going to be different. I think we're going to live longer in a very healthier state. Because for the first time in my life, now I had read all the literature. I knew these parasites laid 10,000 eggs a day, 100,000 eggs a day. Now you tell me, how are you going to get rid of that? My dad was a rancher. In the spring, the cows looked horrible. You dewormed them and they took on a shine. But was it done? No. You had to keep deworming them, just like your dog and your cat. Your vet would be a mess if he did not tell you to deworm them every 3 to 6 months. Do parasites from animals pass to humans? Yeah, it's called the zoology of parasitology. They definitely pass to humans. So with knowing that, okay, and with knowing that there's so many eggs, I felt a little helpless. I would deworm people. I would see them. I would see that they looked better. And I thought to myself, I'm getting rid of, maybe 40%, 50% of them. But I knew I wasn't getting rid of all of them. And I knew that they just started again. So it would help people's health to a certain point. But would it get rid of the disease condition they had? It would make it better for a while, but it would come back. So I think for the first time in my life, and maybe I'm out on a limb saying this, I think in my lifetime, I think I will be able to experience a body without parasites. And I think that will be a phenomenal increase in health in me. And so how will it really, I don't have any arthritis. I have a torn ACL and a torn meniscus. It's 20% better. How did it get 20% better? I have absolutely no idea, because that's torn tissue. But if it can help a torn ACL and torn meniscus, what if it could just help my health conditions by 20%?
When did you tear your meniscus? Was it how long ago?
I tore it about 5 years ago, and I tried to get it fixed, and they said, you have no arthritis on the MRI. We don't want to do anything to that knee, because every operation we would do would cause arthritis. We think you'd be better to leave it alone.
Good.
So I have, and I've done all these things that have helped it. But when I started taking these products, I did not look for it to help that at all. And then one day I noticed, oh, that's interesting. I walked to the park and back, and my knee, and what would happen is the outside of my knee would get numb. It does not do that now. I also couldn't, my grandkids run, right? And sometimes I have to try at 75 to run after them. I'm babysitting. I have my granddaughter who loves the products. If I could have got on Zoom, I was going to send a picture of her and how she opens her mouth when I try to give her self-defender. It's so cute.
There's a question that's coming through There's a question that's coming through the chat. It says, you spray it after you brush your teeth. That's a question one of the guests had.
Yes, I do.
You brush your teeth and then
I spray it 2 or 3 times in the day too.
During the day too. Okay.
I just like how fresh it makes my mouth feel. And instead of any kind of breath freshener, I just use silver.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Plus, I think it's also helping those little wrinkles on my top lip. Because I spray myself so much.
I see Alan taking his silver right now. Alan, good for you. There you go. So those little wrinkles on the top lip?
Yeah. Now, how could it do that? I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand the science behind that, But I'm sure, I could probably talk to a scientist.
Well, I just want to share something personally, Deepa. I wanted to share something personally. I saw somebody the other day that I hadn't seen in probably 10 months. And she said, Christine, what are you doing? You look great. And it's been since January, I've been taking all the products. And she said, oh my God, I want what you have. That's what she said to me. And
you get kind of the pink factor, your circulation. I had a girl that had that disease where your hands and feet turn cold and then they turn purple. And she had it. She was in her 30s and she was a mountain climber, lovely girl. After she'd been taking the products for a month and a half, her hands and feet used to turn dark purple during the colonics. I looked at her one day and I said, "Hey, your feet and your hands aren't purple anymore." And she goes, "I know. That just left last week." I go, "I mean, we're talking major circulation issues here." She says, "I know. This is gone." I was like, "Okay, that's circulation. I mean, that's your blood vessels. What's happening with that? I don't even know. I can't even guess as to why that went away."
Well, firsthand, I'm gonna just chime in. I know what she has because right now they don't look that way, and they haven't since. So it's amazing.
Well, I also got, when I got that latest flu that came through, I had a rash on my chest, I had a fever of 100, and my left ear turned purple. My doctor said, "Don't come in, you're not sick enough, you don't have it." Well, I waited a week, and then I went and had my, I went to a chiropractor that was certified by the state of Montana to check your antibodies. And I had mine checked, and he says, "Oh, you have great antibodies. They're better than mine, and you're older than I am." I said, "How can you tell that from a blood test?" He said, "I can tell it by how fast your blood reacted to the test." So, your blood is reacting quickly, and these products are somehow, I think, the only thing I can say when someone heals after they've had something like this, she had that for like, over 5 years, okay? And if you're turning purple, your circulation is not working right. And if it is corrected, we're talking about corrected through what? The blood flow, the energy of the blood. I mean, in Chinese medicine, when you are in pain, they call it your dank, okay? Well, what does dank mean? To them, it means the flow of your blood is not good. Good enough to clean, because your body cleans your body through your blood. It heals your body through your blood. And so when you're, you have purple feet, your feet are dank. The blood flow isn't good. So how is it that the cell defender, I think it was mainly the cell defender that was doing that, because she was taking some silver, but we weren't as educated about the silver as we are now. She's taking much more now as she travels the world. She's climbing up mountains in Greenland right now. She's a mountain climber. And so, and she's had so many things about her health change. I brought her to the first convention that I went to, and she spoke about it. And she's, young and healthy, knows a lot about health. She also educated me about these white worms in the white mucus, and about how the eggs from them, and animals can carry them too, how they can lay in the soil and be vital after a winter, lay in the sun all summer and still be vital. When she told me this, I thought, I will never go to a dog park. I will never stand downwind from a dog park, because they can become airborne. And so when my kids were little, I knew enough about this, and I used to tell them when they go to a public bathroom, "Don't breathe in there." That's all I have to say about that. Don't breathe. Because I want them to realize that's a dangerous place, And so they would wash their hands thoroughly. But anyway, so we have all around us. We have in nature, pathogens. They're finding in our mosquitoes now diseases that we don't want to have. So what is our defense? The first thing is the immunity, because it makes your white cells so strong. So if something gets in there, it's going right after it, okay? I think immunity, I think a strong white cell can kill anything out there, okay? And then you take this cell defender to get off any chemicals that will make a friendly environment for that pathogen, and make it alkaline so it can't live in there. And then you take a silver, because all these things also carry bacteria. And our teeth are leaking constantly bacteria into our gut. I think that from just dealing with people and listening to their stories, and all my clients go all around the world looking for some help with their health problems. I think many of our gut problems are just our teeth problems. But if we can just spray our teeth with silver and put cell defender drops on them, I think we're going to be okay. So we can help our children in school. They have to be around all these kids. We can spray their hands. We can spray up their nose before they go to school. We can spray them when they get home. We can give them 10 sprays before they go to bed. And I think you're going to increase their immune system, their ability to fight stuff out there. And they're just not going to be as sick.
How long have you been using
So
the products, Deidre?
A year.
1 year. And so you've seen some miracles. I actually just asked our audience
Yeah, I have a question.
if anybody wants to ask you a question. You want to raise your hand if you have a
Go
question.
ahead.
Carol, you want to ask Deidre a question? Go ahead.
I do. Deidre, I just fell in love with you in watching your video, Gut Health, and I actually got on Silver because of that video. And because I kept saying, I don't have parasites, no way. Yeah, well, guess what? Anyway, my question is this: how many people have you put? I know you're, you're a hydrotherapist. How many people have you put on this product?
I don't know how many. I work all day long. I have one appointment after the other. I have eliminated almost every product of what I sell because this is the superior product for cleansing. Okay. And so myself personally, I don't take vitamins and stuff anymore. I take a vitamin D, I take an enzyme to break down food, and I take all these products, and that's it now. And I've noticed that my skin is better. I think I can even see better. My flexibility is better. My balance is better. And I've taken myself off. I mean, I was taking everything. I mean, I take the best of everything because, it's my business.
Right.
So I'm not saying that vitamins aren't good. I'm saying that a clean body can get the nutrition out of the food that we're given to such a point you won't need many supplements. I mean, when your joints are feeling better, when your balance is better, when you're walking with a quicker step, something's happening. Everything in your body is functioning better. And when my doctor said your cholesterol's even better, I haven't changed a thing except these products. Okay, your blood sugar is better. Oh, well, okay, I'll take that at 75. If anything gets better at 75,
Amen.
I mean, I had a friend standing at my desk the other day just complaining about everything in her body. And I said, you got to understand something. This whole thing that we're walking around in, it's falling apart. But we have to do is want it to do slowly and painlessly. That's what we're looking for here. I wouldn't mind having a few less wrinkles, It's made my hair completely shiny too.
Okay, so I just noticed personally that, you don't pay attention to the length of your hair as often. And I looked and I said, oh my gosh, I think my hair grew like 3 inches lately. It's crazy. So that's a real thing for me. Hey, someone else just asked a question. Can anemia be a cause of parasites? How can we detox the small intestines?
Okay, the small intestine is a tough one. I'm just learning about the small intestine now because I give clonics and that's all I really wash out is the large intestine. But now that I have the silver, what I've realized is the first stage of that parasite that's in the mucus is in the small intestine. That's the first stage. And then the second stage, the look of them changes and they're in the large intestine. So cleaning out the small intestine, I think the most important thing to do it is to get the bacteria out of it and to get those parasites because they secrete a mucus. The small intestine secretes a mucus. And these parasites can live in the mucus because there's no vascular system in it, even if you're on cell defender. And I know that that's also true for the lungs because it's a kind of an ugly thing to say, but I noticed my clients when they first got on the products, they're going, I have this mucus. I'm always clearing my throat now. I have this mucus. I'm going, oh yeah, I knew exactly what was that. I have an agreement with Jesus, and that's this: Jesus, they cannot come out my eyes, my nose, or my mouth, because if they do, I'm not going to be able to do this. Just being upfront with you about this, right? So when this happened, I was sitting at my desk. Uh-oh. Oh, sorry. You're okay. Oh. Hold on. She was playing so good and she just bumped her head.
I want that agreement too.
Oh. You know, I think I'm going to have to hang up because she.
Okay. Well, you go take care of her.
Anyway, I love talking to you guys,
Oh,
and we'll talk again soon, okay?
We appreciate you being here. We'll listen to Thank you, Deidre.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
Okay,
you. Thank
bye.
you.
Woo.
All righty.
Wow.
That was interesting, right?
Awesome.
Oh
Awesome.
my goodness. And you know, for years, I know personally that I had parasites 10 years ago. I had experienced something personally. I had gone to a chiropractor and I said, no way I have parasites, but I like sushi. So I ate a lot of sushi and sure enough, so she's spot on. And Carol, you can attest to it too. And I'm sure many of you other on this call. Kyle, are you still with us?
Of
Kyle,
course, I'm still with you.
I wanted you to just share and meet some of the people here that haven't met you yet. We have a bunch of new distributors with us. So this is Kyle. He's with us tonight. So hey, say hello. And
Well, hi. I think I know
Kyle's
most.
a big part of
Yeah, I was
this,
looking
and
through
we're
the names.
grateful that he shared it with.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, you know, thank you for sharing with Eddie. Eddie shared it with me. I shared it with Carol. Carol shared it with someone. So this is the beauty of passing this on.
That's how this works, right? I mean, it's incredible to sit back and when you see what happens. You know, it's always exciting when the business gets to a point where you don't know who's coming in. I mean, at first, as everybody knows, you know the person you brought in and you know the people that they're bringing in and you have these introductions. But when it gets to a point that you don't know everybody is when you go, oh gosh, this is exciting. This is fun. And I'm excited. You know, I was sharing last night with everybody on Marcy's call. Like she asked me, she said, what is that moment you're waiting for? Like, what are you excited that's coming or that you wish would happen? And we got on the subject of actual true momentum. And when your business gets to this point that no matter what you do, you can't slow it down, you can't stop it. And most people have not had the experience or had the, I don't know, they haven't been able to experience that yet. And I know with Avini, we're right at that tipping point where everybody that's here right now is going to see that happen very soon. And, you know, it all starts with what you just said in regards to, I shared it with Eddie and Eddie shared it with you, and here we are, you know, and we were talking about the power of one and what that can do for your business. Like if we looked at this entire organization right now, this entire team right now, and if every single person, think about it, there's 20 people on this call right now. So if 20 of us all committed that in the next 24 hours, we're going to introduce and bring on one new distributor, this entire call just doubled. And the power of one, you guys, can legitimately change your business overnight. And I've seen it happen. I've legitimately seen 200 people turn into 400 people in one day, right? I've seen 500 turn to 1,000. I've seen that stuff over the last 13 years. And it's the coolest thing in the world when we start to get those type movements happening, because we have something so incredible. We don't have to be afraid to go out there and share it, right? We hear these stories that are just mind-blowing, that quite frankly, they're unbelievable. And sometimes sometimes when we hear these things that are happening with our product, and I want you guys to really sit here and think about this. Don't be afraid to go share with somebody, because we have the substance. We're not a company about hype. We're a company that is built on substance. And so many companies, if you've been around the network marketing industry for a while, you know that sometimes it's super attractive and you're just like, man, I want to be part of that. That looks fun. And these products sound amazing. And you get excited and you get involved based upon the hype and the excitement of what's happening, rather than the actual value or substance of their products. And they hope that the excitement keeps you there long enough, right? You'll kind of overlook what they're lacking. And then all of a sudden you realize, well, it's not all it's hyped up to be, because the products really aren't that great. And then, you know, people end up going different directions. And with Avini, guys, it's the exact opposite. we have the real substance. We have the things that are changing people's lives. We have products that, quite frankly, are creating miracles, right? And everybody here, I can probably say, has experienced or seen or talked to somebody or knows somebody that's got on the product that legitimately has had a darn near miracle. And it's, most people can never say that. We can. And so we sit here, we're a week out, right? We're a week out from the end of the month. And I know every single person here is excited, and everybody's going to be running for a rank, whether it's a new one, maintaining an old one, trying to jump 4 or 5 ranks. I don't know. Everybody's goals are different, but we can achieve those by the power of one, right? If you rally everybody together and say, let's all commit that in the next 24, 48 hours, we all go get one new person. And all of a sudden, we just made this huge leap that gets us closer to where we're trying to go. And we're still a week away from the end of the month. So we don't have to try and do this the last day of the month like we all have a tendency to do, right? So we start that process now, but we have the comfort and the security of knowing that, hey guys, we're bringing people into something amazing with amazing products. We're not just bringing them here because of hype. We have something that can and will change their life if they choose to get engaged, get on the products, and just stay committed to them, right? It's we all know. We just have to go tell everybody. We have to scream that from the rooftops and just be confident when you're out there telling people about this, because again, we are a company built on substance. And remember that if all you have is hype, you don't have substance. And you know what, guys, we are all substance. And again, you know, I always say this, there's so many amazing things coming, but guys, there's so many amazing things right around the corner. And I'm getting emails of the stuff we've been created and what it's looking like. And I actually just got an email probably an hour ago from Apple, like actual Apple, right? In regards to being part of the test program for the new app, right? We've been developing the new app for everybody's phones, and
Wow.
just a lot of little things that are going to make a big difference. But that's just one little thing. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be announced in Dallas. So I hope you guys are there, because from tools to maybe some, you know, product or two, people, just exciting movements that are happening, but all the preparation to get us there is just exciting to witness. Of course, we have, you know, the new corporate facility that I know we're going to be in very, very shortly. We're like right around the corner from that, which is pretty cool. And that doesn't necessarily affect anything besides the fact that our efficiency will become that much better, you know, because of the new machines manufacturing our products. We're just going to be able to ensure that we keep on that, hey, orders are shipping out the same day, if not the next morning, you know, based on the time, and, you know, that we can produce the amount of product that, quite frankly, we're going to be able to need. You know, there's machines now that can, instead of producing 600 products in a day, they can produce 6,000. So like we're really making these big advances. And, you know, guys, to kind of wrap my little thing up here, I will tell you that, you know, I've been doing this for 13 years, and I've had a lot of fun in this industry. I've helped a lot of people change their lives. I've had a lot of really cool things happen to me personally and whatnot. But I shared this last night, and I haven't really shared this with a lot of people, because it's kind of weird to say, but, you know, there's always been this thought in my head, and I think some of us that have been in the industry can relate to this. And it's never, this thought is, it's not a matter of if we're going to leave this company, it's when we're going to leave this company, because something usually goes wrong, or the next best thing, and I've never left a company because there was another thing that was better. I always ended up having to leave a company based upon ownership making bad decisions that negatively affected our teams, or hurt the compensation plan, or they changed the products. And I hate saying that, but there was never a, this is home forever, truthful, like know all feeling in my body, because you just always had this, well, what if? There was always hesitation to some degree. And yet here's where I'm going with this, guys, is for the very first time in my network marketing career, 13 years so far, I know it. The feeling is, this is where we are forever. This isn't an if or a when situation. This is where we are forever. We have built something and created something and have ownership that is just second to none. Like it's the best. And being part of that circle, I guess you could say, and an integral piece of like with Neil and our relationship, I don't know if that makes sense, but when you know, and I told my wife this, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago, I just said, it's such a surreal feeling knowing that 20 years from now, we're going to go, wow, look at what we've done. And 30 years and 40 years or however long we're on this planet, but just to know that this is it. This is truthfully it. And the very first time I shared this, guys, we were in Detroit a few weeks ago for that regional. And this gentleman came up to me and he said, so Kyle, after I was done speaking and things, he came up and he said, so what is your favorite thing about what's happening? And I go, my favorite thing is just knowing that this is it forever. Like we finally arrived, for years and years, we had all these ups and downs with other companies because of bad decisions and just things not necessarily being right. And you get in those moments and you go, why is this happening? Why we poured our life into this company, and yet, then the owner gets indicted or whatever, sells the company. And you go, why? And we have to start over. And for the first time, we don't have to. For the first time, you just know that this is it. It's right. And I said, knowing that.
I appreciate that because you're on the inside track.
Yes.
And like you're so close to, I mean, and some of these new people are on tonight don't know, like Chip, he's been in the trenches with you, right?
Of course.
A lot of people that they don't know all of that, but thank you for telling us that. Like I've only been with you since January, but I can't even tell you how much it's grown, how things like, I remember calling Neil up on a Sunday and he picked up, there's Neil, the CEO. Yeah, let me talk. Like, it's just so cool. So I want to reiterate what you're saying. The opportunity we on this call tonight have is mind-blowing.
Well, it's important for everybody to understand, and I guess if I could wrap this up like in a couple sentences, is this isn't a fly-by-night thing. This isn't the next fad company. This isn't the next hip hop hooray hype-based deal. This is real, and this will be here in 20 years, and this will be here in 30 years, unless we're all not here. Otherwise the company's great, and our ownership is at a level that I've never seen before because he just understands how to operate a company. And the last thing I'm going to say, guys, is that what you need to understand is here's a company that launched technically May 1st of 2022, right? So a year and a half ago. And we look like we have been in business. And what I mean by look like is the back end of this, like the books, the numbers, the operating, the manufacturing, the shipping, everything. We look like we've been in business for 25 years and know what the heck we're doing. And we do know what the heck we're doing. And that's why that a year and a half later, we look like a company that's been through it all. Like we have it ironed out, like, and that's incredible to know. I've never seen that ever in most business, let alone network marketing. I mean, my gosh. So guys, get excited, go share this thing. Remember the power of one. We have a week left this month. Let's go out and do some amazing things by sharing this with every single person that we know. It's time to get on the fence kicking train. I don't know, you got all the people sitting on the fence. It's time to push them over, right? Let's get them off the fence and get them on board with us. And let's let them experience what we know we have. So I love you guys. Thank you again, Christine, for having me on as always. And I'll see you guys soon.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
Dallas. All
You're
right.
welcome.
All right. So just an announcement. We talked about the brothers call. We're going to move the brothers call, which means if you have a brother or a brother from another mother, as Eddie said, you want to get them on the brothers call. Okay. That's going to be in a couple of weeks, but watch you guys are all on the thread, the Avini thread. We'll share that with you. We're going to have Chris Bruce on in a couple of weeks also. So we have some really awesome speakers. So like he said, get your guests here and share all the great information, the tools. We have so many tools. Michael asked a question. Michael, I'm going to get back to you with the answer in a text, okay, to share the information with you that you asked as well. But thank you for being here tonight. And I'm so glad my power came back on because I lost power right before.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, and guys, this will be uploaded into YouTube, and then I will send the link to Christine and she can send it out to everyone, okay? Thank you. Thank you,
Carol.
Kyle, for really thank you for giving us a real
You're welcome. You're
like
welcome.
it's juice. You gave me juice, okay?
Go brush your teeth and spray the nano in the mouth, everybody.
Thanks to all of you.
All right.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Night,
Thank
Cal.
Good night, Eddie.
Night.
you.
Bye, guys.